one interesting challenge is how do we use technology to promote empathy and understanding, not to lead to like more and more division.
I've never met someone in Silicon Valley who didn't want to try and make the world better.
We have to do a Peter Thiel question when we're talking ethics. He funded a lawsuit secretly that ended Gawker. As someone who knows him, what's your take on that? It raises a lot of interesting questions about First Amendment rights.
I think he really believed that these people were doing damage overall and were not respecting what he believed was the line where privacy should be in our society. If he could get them in trouble for having crossed that line in a legal way, that was something he was proud to do, to discourage people from having that kind of business model where they did abuse privacy that way. So I think he has a very consistent position, and he really believes in that. I can see how it's really scary to people that a billionaire would be able to throw around their weight.
We were looking at Silicon Valley as kind of like a college, and one company needed to take Ethics 101. Which company needs Ethics 101?
Twitter. I think that if you look at the amount of bots that are out there on Twitter that shape and affect people's opinions, it's out of control. It's very easy for a Donald Trump or for any campaign to basically create a bunch of fake accounts.
It's very inconsistent, it seems, to a lot of us, who they ban, how they choose to ban them, what the rules are for that. A lot of it seems very politicized right now.
We as societies, we choose to regulate things that are addictive. We regulate cigarettes, we regulate drugs. And I don't know what the right solution is, but we have these products that are clearly addictive. I've chosen over the last year to start keeping Shabbat, where I don't use my phone for 25 hours a week, and realizing how much we've designed these things where we just reflexively and unconsciously are using them.
You look at Silicon Valley, a lot of dudes, a lot of young ones, and they're creating these products. You don't have philosophers in the room necessarily. You don't have as many women in the room creating some of these decisions. They might have a blind spot when it comes to having some empathy, when it comes to creating addictive products. So do we need to diversify Silicon Valley?
One of the biggest questions is how do you get really talented people to all want to come work on a mission? And so I think the majority of these companies we're working on nowadays, they have a story about why this is really important for the world, and it's really hard to fake that. You can't get people to give their lives towards something that anyone really thinks is fake. So I think the majority of the companies we're investing in, we're doing so because we really do believe this is something that great, smart people would want to help, would want to push forward.
You're starting to see a lot of shifts in Silicon Valley. I mean, you have Mark Benioff hiring a chief equality officer, which I think is one of the smartest moves we've seen in the past year. But it really focused on how do we make sure that technology empowers. I mean, a lot of entrepreneurs have created these amazing platforms, and leveraging those platforms to make sure that the world is more equal and that people can take part in the workforce, and that we're actually driving positive results rather than just getting people more addicted to their phones is something that I think can really be a change in Silicon Valley. So a lot of these entrepreneurs, as you talk to, that may have a lot of power are using it in the right ways. And I think that that's something I want to see more of in the world.